Maxwell the cat from TikTok turned out to be a cat. Meme history. Maxwell the cat. Dingus the cat. Spinning cat is a meme with a 3D cat that sways and spins in TikTok videos to the song The Funky Russian Train. Origin. In November-December 2022, videos with a 3D model of a black and white cat swaying in different directions to the music of The Funky Russian Train went viral on TikTok. In one of the most popular videos, a cat befriends a capybara. The history of this meme goes back to 2017. Then in November, Imgur user VoidHawk42 posted a photo of a black and white cat sitting on a piece of paper. 2020. 1-0-2 Steam 3D. Dingus. At Big Old Buns. But the meme cat has another name also not real. This is Maxwell. This nickname was given to him by another Steam user who created a new 3D model on October 21st. On this model, the cat was sitting in the arms, so in memes and edited videos on YouTube, Maxwell was often depicted sitting in the arms of various characters. In fact, the cat from the memes is called Jess, and she is a girl from the UK. In 2020, the pet's owner, the same VoidHawk42, published a new post. He wrote that his cat, who was 9 years old at the time, became seriously ill. She was diagnosed with a bowel obstruction and the operation cost £1,500. There have been no further updates on Jess's fate. Probably the owner did not collect the money, and the cat died. How the spinning cat Maxwell memes evolved. At the end of October, after 2 cat models were released on Steam, memes with these models began to go viral on YouTube. Users edited different videos with game playthroughs, placing the cat in different locations. One of the first such videos was published by YouTuber Awesome T for M, who placed Maxwell in Half-Life. Then, in early November, various variations of the meme went viral on Twitter and Tumblr. It was there that the cat was first forced to spin to music, which is why the meme is often called Spinning Cat. In November and December, Maxwell the cat took over TikTok. People started making different videos with the 3D model. In these videos, the cat most often swayed to the sides rather than spinning. And it was there that the format went viral, in which Maxwell moves to the tune of The Funky Russian Train. Along with At Big Old Buns, Maxwell is often mistaken for another TikTok cat, Uni. The owners of the latter even published a video of their pet looking at the Maxwell figurine. In mid-December 2022, the Maxwell the cat meme reached its peak of popularity. This happened thanks to the TikTok effect, which allowed you to insert a spinning cat into any video. In less than a month, users shot more than 100,000 videos with this effect. Meaning, memes with Maxwell the cat are another trend in which a funny animal does something while listening to funny music. Thanks to 3D models, Jess the cat has achieved immortality, albeit under a different name. For many, the spinning cat trend is reminiscent of dancing cow memes. At the peak of her popularity, she kicked her legs and twirled in different directions to the Polish song Tylko Jedno W Gaui Mom. This is how the story turned out. Subscribe to my channel and like it if you liked it. Thank you for watching. Cities are great, but they can be as incredible as they are problematic. Ever zoned out on the subway and missed your stop, or trying to get down from the top floor of a bus and nearly broken your neck on the stairs? Luckily, some smart cookies have thought up ingenious solutions to these little problems, like light-up subway stops, bus slides, heck, even full-height skyscraper slides. So let's take a look at some of the most amazing inventions that might be coming to a city near you in the not-so-distant future. Hammock heaven. Stressful day at work? Can't cope with school essays? Too much YouTube drama? God knows there's a lot of it at the moment. Well, in Copenhagen, there's public places in the city you can go if you need to unwind and sway. Called Off Ground. This series of public hammocks are available in the summers on the boardwalks of the city center. They're a creative alternative to benches, and though they may look bizarre in an urban space, they do create an easygoing environment. Something that's desperately needed. In fast-paced cities, The hammocks are repurposed from old fire hoses and steel piping cleverly upcycled for public enjoyment. Similar hammock designs have also been installed in Philadelphia and Brooklyn. Perhaps it will catch on as a popular city trend in the summertime. Heck knows I could do with a place to relax and unwind. In my city fishing for the most interesting facts all day. It's pretty stressful sometimes. Clever casts. Everything's better in 3D, films, graphics, printers. Well, to add to that 3D printer hype now they can benefit the medical world with special 3D printed casts. Most modern medical casts are made from plaster or fiberglass, which are stiff and rigid to keep the healing bone beneath in place. But 3D printed casts, which are made from a high-temperature thermoplastic, look much cooler and easier to move in. This is due to their thin breathable structure and being incredibly less complex to remove. No more horrifying cast saw. All the best part about this invention is that they're waterproof, which means there's no fear of showering with your sponge-like plaster cast on or the panic of excessively wrapping it in plastic. Its spiderweb design lets air hit the skin easily, preventing sweat and bacterial buildup normally found in traditional casts, and no more using pens or straws to reach down into them when you have an itch. The dream. You must be wondering then, if these casts are so much better, why aren't hospitals using them? Well, 3D printed casts can cost anywhere from between $200 to $500, and plaster cast typically sit around the $250 margin. Many hospitals don't have the facilities or budget to accommodate 3D printers, and currently it takes 90 minutes to print just one out, which could add to longer hospital waiting times, and no one wants that. However, as technology advances, both the time and cost of these casts could be brought down to make them a more accessible option for all. Please give me this itch-free broken bone blessing. I am so very clumsy. I need this. Green machine. Cycling is a great way to get around town, but what if we could make it even better, not just for ourselves, but for the environment? Don Roosgaard, a Dutch designer living in China, has designed a bicycle which inhales city air filled with smog and pollutants from cars and factories and releases fresh air back into the atmosphere like a manta ray which filters water for food. The bike draws in particulate matter and cleans it using its own attached device. As you ride around the city, you won't just be taking in the sights, you'll be cleaning the streets too. The goal is for cities like Beijing to have 2.5 million smog-free bikes in the near future, which will reduce pollution between 5 and 15% in just 2 years. And what would happen to all that filthy matter collected by the filters? They can be turned into all manner of things like jewelry. Smog rings contain compressed air pollution inside a transparent cube. They've even been used as wedding rings. Who knew a bicycle could do more than just get you from A to B smog-free? The Rainbow Road. Have you ever wished you could drive down Mario Kart's Rainbow Road in real life? Well, these solar-paneled roads are the closest thing to fulfilling your Nintendo dreams, called solar roadways. They possess intelligent LED lights which illuminate the night, but they're not just glorified Christmas decorations. They're used for clear visibility and signage, but this isn't all it can do. The panels themselves are able to generate clean renewable energy through solar power which can be sent to the grid. In fact, there's potential for these roads to replace the national grid. A cable corridor that runs alongside the road can store utility lines, is safe from power outages, and is easier to access than cables run between the tops of 100-foot poles. Asphalt and concrete roads may be a thing of the past soon enough because the maintenance of solar roadways is incredibly low. No more annoying potholes to contend with or repainting. Faded lane lines. Even ice and snow can't stick to the surface, because its state-of-the-art heating system maintains the panels at a temperature above freezing. Tanks beneath frost lines can collect rainwater from the paneled roads, ready to be recycled or transferred to water treatment plants. Oh, I can't wait to pretend to be Mario, canning it down one of these bad boys. Two-seater swing. What if I told you there was a swing that was designed for children and parents? Honestly, I don't know why more parks don't have them. Adults can feel the absolute joy of being a child again while swinging with their own little one. If more parks had these swings, you best believe the adults would be fighting over who got there first. But it would also encourage more parent and child interaction. since both seats are facing forward. It was designed this way to enhance children's sensory skills and promote the experience of having them recognize and watch their parents' facial expressions. It's also far superior to having to stand there and push all the time. It makes the playground just as much fun for parents. I think it would be harder to tear the parents away from this genius invention. The safety net. Pollution in our waterways is one of the saddest things to witness firsthand. Not only does it eventually come back to hurt us, but it also harms the wildlife that has to deal with discarded single-use plastic and general trash thrown into it without a second thought. Fortunately, a city in the land down under has found a way to reduce the rubbish in its waterways with a single nifty invention. The Australian city of Cunana has been finding water pollution with drain socks, which are fitted over drainage pipes. They act like a giant sieve, preventing waste and garbage from entering the water, keeping the reserve clean and safe. In just 6 months, it collected over 800 pounds of rubbish from 2 installed nets. During these months, they're cleaned 3 times to keep the waves from overflowing, and when enough has been collected, the garbage is separated. Some of this debris can then be taken to a recycling center, which turns it into fertilizer. These nets aren't immediately harming the wildlife either, as there have been no reports of animals getting stuck inside. And one of the best things about them, they only cost $20,000 to implement. In the grand scheme of things, these nets are a very cost-effective way of cleaning up waterways and stopping contamination from happening in the first place. Compare that to the cost of cleaning up an entire ocean of plastic, which at this point will cost somewhere in the region of $90 billion. Wow! When you put it like that, it really is a small price to pay. Load of trash. Handling your own trash is nasty, let alone other people's trash, which is why I respect the heck out of my local trash man. Hauling everyone's trash around all day can't be easy or fun. But luckily, there's a new electric truck in the city of Rotterdam designed to reduce their smelly load and keep the environment clean. The DAF electric garbage truck uses a mechanical claw to grab hold of trash cans on the ground, lift them up, and dump their contents into them. How handy is that? It's more efficient than a regular garbage truck and can recharge to 80% battery capacity in only 30 minutes. With 170 kilowatt-hours of energy, it can cover regular collection rounds with no problems. It has a steered trailing axle which allows for sufficient maneuverability, meaning that it can navigate busy urban areas with ease. It's also capable of taking on a 30-ton payload, then further proves its worth with its eco-friendly emissions compared to a normal garbage truck. It uses 30% less energy, reduces greenhouse gas emissions by 50%, and is also 20% less expensive. Now that is how you trash talk the competition. Bright light designs. Have you ever been stuck at a junction, unable to see the teeny tiny traffic lights in the distance? So frustrating, right? Well, over in Ukraine, several main streets don't have this problem, thanks to these LED lights. They're applied to the entire traffic light pole and used to increase visibility for those in the back. In adverse weather conditions like storms or fog, they make it much clearer to see whether it's time to stop or go, which in adverse weather conditions can save lives equally as clever. These lights in the Netherlands and South Korea are designed specifically for smartphone users. Not too often the roads are being crossed by people glued to their screens, which can cause accidents. So to combat this, these lights have been fitted into the ground. Now you can notice the color change. Without looking up, I'm ashamed to say I would benefit greatly from this design. Over in Orissa, India, lights have been installed to prevent impatient drivers from dangerously running red lights. They count down the second you have to wait until you can go, which is a genius little trick that has probably put a number of drivers at ease. World without road rage and rude beeping. I think we can all agree that's one thing our cities could definitely do without forest phone. Sometimes you need to escape from the chaos of city life and return to nature. But even in the forest, you can find amazing inventions that enhance your experience of the outside world. This odd-looking contraption, for example, is basically a giant reverse megaphone. It amplifies the noises heard in the forest, like the animals and insects and weather, and channels it into the ears of the person laying in it. It achieves this using those large wing-like enhancers which direct all of the sound waves to its center so listeners can pick them up easily. They're primarily constructed from wood. as wood absorbs sound waves naturally and cranks up the volume in turn. These inventions are currently found in Estonia, but they'd be perfect in plenty of other parts of the world, perhaps in national parks or designated beauty spots. That way you could listen to as many soothing sounds as possible before returning to the inevitable honking and hollering of the city. Bus live. Tired of delayed public transport? Tired of sitting in traffic? Tired of sitting in traffic on delayed public transport? Well, China might just have the solution to all three of those problems with its state-of-the-art, highly anticipated transit elevated bus. First unveiled back in 2016, models demonstrated how it would allow cars to drive underneath its elevated compartment while its wheels would run on tracks laid in the unused space between the lane. This would mean passengers could skip over highway queues without adding to them. Tested in a trial in 2016, its 25-foot width was more than enough space for 2 lanes of traffic to pass beneath, and with a length of 72 feet and space for 300 passengers, this mechanical beast was set to be the biggest thing on the road. It was even projected to reduce congestion by up to 30% and could replace up to 40 standard buses. I mean, in theory, this is amazing. And then sadly, that's all that it is at the moment, a theory, because after the inaugural 980-foot test of the elevated bus in the city of Kinhuangdao, Hebei, the project was promptly shelved. Questions regarding its safety arose, with 32 individuals arrested regarding the legality of how it was funded. Since then, the TEB has sat abandoned and gathering dust in the middle of Kinhuangdao, ironically, creating congestion. Well, A for imagination, F for execution. Maybe this might be viable in the future once they iron out the safety kinks, because honestly, I imagine riding in this thing would be busing. Which of these inventions do you wish was in your city? Let me know down in the comments below. And thanks for watching.